I was just thinking here, it's hard for me to adjust to hearing you talk, even though I'd seen you in pictures before and in other things. That image is so stamped now on people's minds that people are probably surprised to hear you talk without Archie's own, dialogue, own speech pattern, own accents.
Well, of course, anytime you want, I can latch into that. You want to feel right at home, I'll give you all of that you want, But then I got to get more money than I'm getting on this show here.
Yes, that's right.
Also, I need some scripts for that, see?
Yeah. Everybody knows that a weekly show, particularly when it's a success, all the power just starts descending on it, all the pressure and people pounding you to keep turning them out like that. Is that unpleasant? Is that where the unpleasantness comes from? There have been articles about you in which it said you were really feeling the pressure.
Yes, well, there is a tremendous amount of pressure because we do it before a live audience like this every week. So we're preparing what amounts to a new play, a little play. It's only 23 minutes, but we're preparing that play to play for the people sitting in front of us. And the pressure to get that right, it's like the live theater. And it's pretty heavy pressure. And then something has happened that I don't know whether very many people I don't know even whether this is going to interest your audience, but I want to mention it. I don't even know whether the people connected with our show realize it, but we've got into I think a whole different area for American theater. We've gone from straight comedy into something else, and that other thing is satire. Which never did make it in America. It was always in England, people like Shaw and Oscar Wilde turned out satire and it was very well received. But the old saying in the United States was that satire closes Saturday. Yeah. But we have gone into this, into satire, and the difference between that and straight comedy is that straight comedy deals with people and situations, absurd things, surprising things, awkward things that happen. You've all seen it on television in situation comedy. Magical things sometimes, talking horses, My Mother, the Car, The Genie in the Bottle. Another dear friend of mine played that for a number of years, Larry Hagman. And that's all valid comedy and funny. But here we are in another thing where we're not talking so much about people and situations. We're talking about a mode. We're talking about manners in the present day, or to put it in our own current vernacular, a way of life. We're looking at a way of life in a humorous way. That's rarely done in the theater, and it's never been done on television before. And we've somehow got into that. And in other words, we've gone from something less than an art into an art. And I hope you don't think I'm saying this with a whole lot of puffed up pride. I'm saying this is a matter of cold judgment. We've suddenly got into this higher thing, and the pressure to keep it up is enormous.
It must be.
Well, because most of the material that we get really is written for that older thing that people have seen for 20, 25 years on television, and a lot of people react to it the same way that the Great Dane reacted to the Alpo.
the stunt dog that we hired to walk out on the commercial.
So I think, without knowing it, we've come across a way into something in the American theater, in which I include television, that is very different. And I think that's the reason for the success of the show. And we all, without defining it as I've defined it tonight, because I don't think we've ever sat down and talked about this amongst ourselves as a cast. We never have. But we've got into this thing, and we know we're in it. Without definition, we know we're in it, and we're striving to keep it up. Yeah. And we have with us people who write shows of the way Hollywood writes shows. That worked, so do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and again, and again, and again. That show, this sitcom, this character, repeat it. Put another twist on it and repeat it. And when we get these things, we reject them, we throw them out, and we sit around and we rewrite. And we...
You're the cast.
Oh, yes. And our director, John Rich. And we rewrite and we shape and we can't even start working on these things as actors until the day we go before the audience. And that's a tremendous amount of pressure.